Do you know what scholarship means? What a school means? The original meaning of a schola? Leisure. We talked of a scholar and a gentleman because a gentleman was a person who had a private income, and he could afford to be a scholar. He didn't have to earn a living, therefore he could study the classics and poetry and things like that. Today, nothing is more busy than a school. They make you work, because you got through on schedule. They have expedited courses, and you go to school so as to get a union card with PhD or something so that you can earn a living. So it's a whole contradiction of scholarship. Scholarship is to study everything that's unimportant, not necessary for survival. All the charming irrelevances of life.
Whenever I do something, I try to do it a little differently than anyone else. A part of that is the sort of the sexy appeal of providing a persona for myself on the internet. But that's largely counteracted by the manner in which I am trying to be unique, you see. The way I try to be unique is in the unsexy sort of way, and this is a colloquial usage of the word. I mean something that is pleasing to one's ego, something that is soft or fluffy or egocentric, I guess. Yeah, egocentric. And for those of you who have ever participated in a Stickam session know that egocentricity is a reality with those, regardless of the efforts of the people who host them. So, to that, what I want to do is offer you a different brand of Stickam and give you a chance to discuss and appreciate the, what? How did he call it? The beautiful irrelevancies of life. Now, we could pick any esoteric topic and have discussion about it, but I don't want to just discuss. I actually want to learn with you a topic. And so it would go something like this. They would come into the Stickam session. You would have a number of people docked, and instead of debating, we would actually be operating somewhat like you would see a study group operate in college. The difference, however, is that we do not have an impending exam at the end of the month or at the end of the semester to study for. Rather, it is merely, the only thing there, I mean the only motivation there, is to merely learn it, just to study. Just to study it. The trick, of course, is to find something that is not only largely irrelevant to our lives, but also interesting. I think we could pick easily enough any number of esoteric subjects that no one particularly cares about, and the project would fail. And so I would propose that we begin a Stickam session learning the Japanese language. Why? 1, I know a little bit about it. 2, I'm interested in it. And 3, I've continued to study on my own very casually since I've arrived here. Japanese is an interesting language because it's incredibly different from English, but it's also incredibly unhelpful in the job market. And people who study Asian studies or Japanese in college can vouch for that, unless you are hell-bent on just living in Japan as a English teacher for the rest of your life, or an IT person, or an engineer working for Toyota. That basically is it, unless you're a bartender, but I don't know who wants to do that for the rest of their life. Anyway, so it would present itself like this. You would come in, we would have a topic in mind, I would, a part of speech in mind, and we would discuss it, we would practice with it, and if all possible, I'll drag a native speaker into it who enjoys teaching and tutoring as well. But largely, I'm guessing what's going to happen is it's going to be a bunch of white kids who are sort of geeky and want to learn Japanese just for the hell of it. And it's in that sort of spirit that I propose to you this idea. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So again, you come in, there's a planned part of speech. I'll announce it, and I'll say that, Stickam is this whatever day, this Saturday, at whatever such in time, we're going to be talking about this part of speech. Here's a couple of links that you can read up before coming into the room. And then you come into the room, we discuss it, we practice the part of speech, and we're done in an hour or two. And we do that once a month, 2 times a month, or once a week if the interest is there. In the name of what? You know, there are lots of different ways that you can, I guess, I don't know, judge your own actions. A strategy I use is, how sexy is it? How egocentric is it? If it's not egocentric, then I generally tend to lean that way, even before I have a robust reason for doing so. Learning Japanese is not going to help me in my life other than merely to be scholarly. And if you fit that profile and find the Japanese language interesting, I hope you find it, find it worth your time to spend an hour or two with me in a Stickam session where we study that, or perhaps another idea that you have in mind. Leave comments. I'd love to hear from you guys.